Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Oh my goodness, you're here. How
What's
are
going on?
you?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. I want
Yeah.
to make sure we have this set up right. And you had trouble seeing me in the beginning, right?
No, I just didn't know how to join, so
All right.
I joined. I'm good now.
It's your first hangout. So it's been a long day for you. I
Oh
know.
my God. I got no sleep last night. Like zero. I was in the bed, like not stressed out or anything, but like just really excited for today. I've been working like nonstop for a week and a half, just building what needed to come today. But then before that, a year and a half ago, when I first started to investigate this major fast food chain. So it's been a long time coming.
So I know for everybody just watching you, you're new to our channel here at Fit Life TV. Tell them, and we'll tell them more about the Subway stuff because that's why we're here today. We're going to explain that to them. But tell us what has led you up to this point. Who are you? And I've explained to them a little bit about what the Food Babe does, with your investigations and stuff. But I want them to hear from you because you have a story, and I don't think I would do you justice if I were to tell your story. So give us a little background.
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. And I'm super excited to be here. I've been following along Drew and Fit Life TV and all of the adventures for a while now. And I just, Drew is one of the people that really inspired me to say that I could really do this full time, to take on the food industry. And, back up 10 years ago, I spent a lot of my life living like a zombie, not feeling that great, being overweight, had eczema all over my face, had asthma, had 6 to 8 prescription drugs depending upon the season that I was taking at the time. And it wasn't until I got a really horrible pain in my side the year I got out of college, and it was after working for a big 6 consulting firm that worked me basically to death. And I had this horrible pain, and it led me to the hospital. And the first doctor who saw me in the emergency room said, there's nothing wrong with you. You just have some pain. Get some Advil and go home. And so I went home, and the pain continued. If it wasn't for my parents' sixth sense to really say, "Hey, Vani, we think you should go see somebody else in the morning," I might not be here today, because that next morning I went into emergency appendicitis surgery. So I had an appendectomy where I had my appendix taken out, an organ cut out of my body. So that was a really eye-awakening thing for me to experience at 22 years old. And I was thinking, they say, the doctors were saying, you shouldn't worry, this is random, this can happen to anybody, because we don't need our appendix anymore, and it can just become inflamed and what yada yada yada. But all this stuff about randomness and the way I'd been eating, the way I'd been treating my body, I didn't think it was a random occurrence. I felt like it was connected,
Mm-hmm.
and I started to channel this energy when I was in the hospital room recovering. Everybody's out. Like, it was December of 2002, so 2002, and so that's over 10 years ago. But yeah, I was recovering in this hospital room, and everybody's out shopping, like for their loved ones, for the holidays, or going to parties. I remember there was this party that I missed because I was getting my stomach cut open. That was like a cool party to meet guys, and I was missing all of these amazing events, and I was sitting there like recovering, and I had this like aha moment that health would become my #1 priority, and that I would learn everything possible that I could about how to heal myself. And I channeled this energy from high school, where I learned how to research, where I'd spend summers at debate camp in colleges and like in law journals and deep into the library. There wasn't Google back then, like I had to really like teach myself about what's really happening in the healthcare industry and with my own health. And so I started teaching myself, and I became the guru around my friends and family. And eventually, they saw this dramatic transformation in my skin, and my hair, and my nails, and the way I looked, in my body. You know, I lost all the weight immediately when I started eating whole, real, unprocessed food and organic food. And then I've been able to keep it off for over 10 years without dieting or doing anything crazy. And found juicing, which is incredible, which I know, Drew, you're a gigantic fan of, and everybody probably watching this right now, you know, juicing has completely changed my life and my energy, and I just had a juice a minute ago. It was fantastic. But yeah, so I started this blog because all of my friends and family around me were like, you know, share your recipes with us, share your lifestyle with us, we'd like to know. And I was really scared to do this because I was working for corporate America still at the big 6 consulting firms, like working with CEOs, and you weren't supposed to be on Facebook and Twitter and on a blog and doing all of this stuff. You were supposed to be a corporate citizen and not keep all that stuff private. So I was actually never even on Facebook or Twitter or any social media until I started this blog, and I started it under the name Food Babe because my husband, who is so genius, came up with the name one day because I wanted to name the blog like eathealthyliveforever.com or something. And he's like, no one's going to remember that, so we're going to find a better name for you. And he's the one who actually coined it. And I said, well, you know, I was a little shy about the name at first, but I was like, okay, I can own it. I can own it. And so it became Food Babe, and I would actually sign all of my posts Food Babe, and I actually never even had my picture on my blog for the first year and a half. And would sign it Food Babe, and my name was never even on there because I didn't want like my boss to find it. I never talked about it at work. I was just, except for the, you know, few individuals that kind of knew me and knew what was going on, but it was a very secret thing. And then slowly but surely it started to grow, and millions of people started signing on. And what happened was I realized that not only do I have a voice, but I have a voice that can carry millions of people. And I really felt a calling to quit my job 1 year ago when, Drew, when I met you, actually, like shortly after we talked, you told me, you know, this is your calling, you need to do this. I found like all of these different, you know, great mentors like you and Marie Forleo and Derek Halpern and all these people who would take me under their wing to show me, you know, how I can use my voice and also support myself and pay the mortgage. And so I started doing that, and it ended up being fantastic. Within a few months, you know, I launched a petition, a really large petition against Kraft mac and cheese to remove artificial food dyes. Obtained 350,000 signatures on that, and Kraft within 7 months changed their product geared towards children, removed those artificial food dyes that are linked to petroleum and are made from petroleum and linked to hyperactivity in children, ADHD, autism, allergies, asthma, etc. And through the blog and through sharing my voice, I started to create this amazing Food Babe army. And this army, they're really incredible because they not only care about themselves, like they care deeply about what they're putting in their body and what they're buying and everything, but they care enough to go to a company's Facebook page or to call a headquarters of somebody or to hold these companies accountable for their actions. And it's so inspiring watching everybody's voice being completely propagated across the internet and across the world, and like this vibration. Like today is probably why I couldn't sleep yesterday, is because I felt like this vibration of everybody, like everybody's energy. They probably could feel my energy because I told them like, hey, heads up, Tuesday, I'm coming up with something big, get ready, and I could feel everybody's energy. So
real quick, if you had to break the vibration down into one dance move, what would it be? Come on.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Oh, there we go. I'm feeling it. No, that's awesome, though. So, well, I'm part of the Food Babe Army, right?
You are, Drew. You are.
Yeah, like...
You're like a lieutenant or something. You have like something. I don't know.
I follow your stuff all the time, and we've been going back and forth for the past year. And, you know, it's dear to my heart going to people's homes and seeing these kids that have no clue. They're eating stuff with petroleum in it. And when you and I say it, we know what it is. But for the viewer that doesn't know what artificial dyes are, or yellow 6, what is that? Like, why do we need to remove that from our food?
Yeah, so yellow 5, yellow 6, red 40, whatever these names are, numbers. Usually when you see numbers on an ingredient label, you just want to put it back down because, food doesn't come in numbers. But these ingredients are ingredients to create a facade of a product. So, for example, a lot of manufacturers will use a fake blue coloring to flavor apple bits in a blueberry muffin so that they don't have to actually pay for real blueberries to put in that muffin, and so they can produce it faster and cheaper than they would real blueberries. So this is the case across the board, from everything from candy, where they're not using real fruit to color it, the strawberry flavored Starbursts, or the Skittles, or anything that's like the taste of the rainbow. All of that is all artificially derived from petroleum, and when they make these chemicals, they actually become contaminated, and they get contaminated with carcinogens, things that cause cancer. So this is why. Go ahead.
Yeah, brain cell cancer, right? And then nerve damage, central nerve damage, or something like that.
Yeah, and there's a group called the Center of Science and Public Interest that has done an entire report on this called the Rainbow of Risks, and they've detailed out all of these issues within animal studies, and then talked about a big study called the Southampton study in the UK, where this led to the banning of these chemicals, the banning of certain food dyes, and also they had to start putting a warning label in Europe when they added a food dye to a product, saying it may cause adverse effects on activity and attention in children. So what I found out about Kraft was really interesting, is that they had reformulated their product for everyone else without these harmful dyes, and for us, we had to still eat them. And it was a really big slap in the face as an American, and as a Canadian too. Like, Canadians also face this issue, and this issue that I'm tackling here today is the same issue, which is Subway has a chemical in their food called azodicarbonamide. This is a very big long word. I like to tell people if they can't spell it, they probably shouldn't eat it. and it's really hard for me to spell it. I mean, I have to say it a couple times to spell it.
So if you can't sing it, you shouldn't eat it either. Can you actually sing it? Can you try?
I can now, because I've been saying it all day and all week, and I had to I did a video on Friday, so I was saying it a lot, and so I can say little songs like azodicarbonamide. I mean, I really can. So it's really.
It's like a rap. It would be good in a rap song,
Yeah, I think so, because there's a lot of things that rhyme with "mide." Like Subway, I'm gonna beat your behind. I don't know. That was bad. That was
bad. It works. It works though. We're on a live hangout. It's not like it really matters, right?
Yeah.
So Subway, what do you think they're gonna say to this? Because you've literally had 30,000 people already and signed this petition, and it's only been a matter of what, 5-6 hours since you've done this?
That's right. And the thing that I think energizes people around this specific issue is once they find out what this chemical is. It's plastic. It's foamed plastic in your food. So it's the same stuff they make yoga mats in the bottom of your shoe soles, the rubber on the bottom of your shoe, synthetic leather, like fake leather material, is the same type of ingredient that they're putting in the sandwich. That in itself kind of grosses you out, right? Like, why are we eating this thing? But then when you find out the scientific reasons, which are stated in the World Health Organization, that has linked this chemical to asthma, allergies, skin rashes, lung problems, especially in the people who are creating the bread, like mixing the dough and everything. If they inhale it, they can get almost immediate reaction with asthma. So this is a really toxic chemical. There was a truck in 2001 carrying this chemical in Chicago, on a Chicago highway, and it accidentally turned over, and it spilled everywhere, and they had to evacuate everyone within a half-mile radius because it was so toxic. And so this is something that not only has all these health issues, comes from yoga mats, but the rest of the world has banned. It's banned in the UK, it's banned in Europe, it's banned in Australia, If you get caught using it in Singapore, they'll put you in jail for 15 years and fine you $500,000. I know Singapore's crazy. They're a crazy country. You know, they do all sorts of crazy things like chewing gum is not good and all of that stuff. But the fact is that this is a serious chemical, and there's no reason it should be in our food. It certainly should not be in food that the First Lady of the United States is now endorsing, saying that it has the highest health standards out of any kids menu, that she's saying that parents could feel good about giving their kids this meal that, you know, these sub sandwiches that had this chemical. This is something that really Subway should be taking out of their food.
So my biggest question, I'm sure the viewers are thinking, why is it in the food if we know that it's bad, if Subway has already taken out all these other countries? Like, I'm confused.
Right. Well, it's because the food industry is really running our food system, which is really sad. You know, it's not the government and it's not us. And so until we take back the message and take back our money and decide where we're going to put it, these things are not going to start to change. One of the things that I think ultimately got Kraft to change was not the amount of signatures or the crazy media hype that we created around the petition, but it was really shifting people's mindset, saying, you know what, they don't have to buy Kraft anymore. They can buy Annie's or learn how to make mac and cheese from scratch. And you know, I provided recipes, other people provided recipes, and then Annie's was a good alternative to, you know, the artificial dye, like that doesn't have artificial dyes. In this circumstance, people have to really rise up and say, you know what, we're not going to eat Subway anymore until you change this. We're going to go to Jason's Deli, we're going to go to Panera, we're going to go here or there that doesn't use this chemical, or I'm going to start making a sandwich at home because it's like a bajillion times better for you. And I don't even know if that's a word, bajillion, but I used it twice today.
Roll with it, right?
But it is. It's a bajillion times better for you, and you're going to be healthier when you take control of your food. So.
Well, I love your message, and I love what you're doing out there. For the people that are wondering, you know, what kind of bread should I eat at home? What do you say to those guys?
Well, what I like to do is I'm not like a staunch gluten-free person, because I personally haven't had any major issues with incorporating a little bit of the right kind on occasion. So, like, for example, if I have a sandwich or a piece of bread, it'll be Food for Life Ezekiel bread that is 100% sprouted, is not even ground up into flour yet. These are real seeds of, like, you know, several different type of grains that have been sprouted, and the phytic acid has been removed, so it's actually really great to digest, and your body can assimilate it pretty well, and it also makes it a complete protein, so it's all protein, which is pretty awesome. Do you eat Ezekiel bread ever?
I used to, and then I cut Ezekiel bread out too. So
you did?
It's
so
just
what do
a
you
level, right? I still eat it occasionally.
Yeah.
But the question I get from a lot of clients is, once you're conditioned to eating bread, you know, how do you come off of it? And Ezekiel bread is an amazing step toward the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, for some people, it messes with their allergies, their sinuses, different things like that. They can have allergic reactions to all bread, the gluten or whatever. So it's just, I find that whatever I eat the most is what I crave the most. I'm attracted to that, right?
Yeah.
So I eat a ton of vegetables. If I'm going to make a sandwich, sometimes I just wrap it up in a gigantic pile of lettuce.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love it. I make these quinoa tacos the taco shell is like a big romaine lettuce leaf, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I see recipes you posting all the time, and they all look amazing, especially the juice ones, you know. So, well, keep up what you're doing. How can we support you? You know, how can we get more Food Babe Army advocates to sign this petition and support your cause?
Yeah, the best thing to do is just go to foodbabe.com/subway, and the petition's going to be right there. I mean, even if you go to foodbabe.com, you'll see the first post is the petition post. But if you go to foodbabe.com/subway, sign the petition, and then after that, share it with like 3 or 4 of your best friends, and then tell them to share it, because this is really how we change the world, is by sharing information. You know, people say, Vani, oh my God, you're so amazing, you've changed all these major companies' ingredients and things like that. I didn't do anything. All I did was share it with you guys, and then you shared it, and then they shared it, and then they shared it, and that's what really changes the world. And I believe if we share this wide and far enough, we'll get a really fast response from Subway, because I can tell you this is the fastest food petition I've ever seen hit the internet ever. I've never seen this kind of reaction within just a few hours. It's incredible.
So once they sign the petition, what happens next?
Well, they just they share it with their friends. Then I'd like them to take a step further and go to Subway's Facebook page. If you go to Subway's Facebook page actually right now, you'll see it's been annihilated.
Can you and I read some of these comments right now? Let's see what people are posting over there.
Yeah, sure. I'll look.
Are you there right now?
Hold on, I'm going to go there in one
You've
second.
probably been watching this thing like a hawk, haven't you?
Well, I've been working hard over here behind the scenes.
I would be watching. I looked at it earlier this morning.
It's a great break, you know. So like, you know, for example, Subway posted 7 hours ago about their Frito chicken enchilada melt, and you'll see tons of comments here. Stop using dangerous chemicals in your bread from Maggie. Kelsey says no more Subway for me until the azodicarbonamide is removed from bread like it is in every other country. An allergy and asthma sufferer, these irritants in your bread is sickening. Count me out. She's got 272 likes on her comment. I'm going to like that too.
Yeah, you should definitely send her a message.
Yeah, totally. Let's send her a message. Kelsey Wise. Server at Mellow Mushroom. Oh, I love that place. Okay, so I guess you guys don't have Mellow Mushroom over there, huh?
We will not be juicing that. Or what is Mellow Mushroom? I don't even know what that is.
It's a pizza chain restaurant. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Delicious.
Well,
yeah. Speaking of eating bread, they have a gluten-free crust though.
Can't beat that. So Subway's thread is just blowing up. I mean, this is crazy. How many comments you guys have going on Subway? People like basically representing your mission here. It's inspiring.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy. If you look at their wall, if you look at any of the comments, people are really taking ownership of this petition because they know they can change the world. They've seen it. You know, they've seen it in the craft petition. They've seen it in the Chick-fil-A. You know, I got Chick-fil-A to change some ingredients. They saw it when I got Chipotle to finally release their ingredients online. They see that change is possible when you share things. And I am like an incredibly proud like leader right now, if you wish, you know, if you want to call me that. But I am totally like, this is like the greatest day.
Do you see Jacqueline Beach, Diary of Once a Fat Girl? She is one of our customer support reps at FitLife TV, and she is all over this. She has kids that have been eating Subway for a little bit, and it's inspiring to see moms, you know, taking advantage of this and jumping on the bus. And Jacqueline's been amazing on the team, so I'm glad that she's posting there as well. And I'm sure Subway will have some type of formal response soon.
Yeah, so what do you think they're going to say? Because this is really interesting. We should get ready for them, right? I mean, they might be watching this right now. They probably are if they're smart, because they want to know about their opponent.
I think, I mean, they're going to see the passion that you have behind it as a person. And when you understand how much passion somebody has for a movement, and that's me speaking of that passion, because I believe we have a huge movement of juicing and healthy people that are inspired to make conscious decisions. Like that's really powerful, because it's like you said in the beginning, it's not just one voice. It's thousands of people's voices, if not millions. And if they're smart, they'll listen to whatever their consumers want. They'll stop putting some bogus ingredient in there, even if it shifts the taste a little bit or it's a little bit more expensive to make. Like, you have to go with what your consumer wants.
Yeah.
And wasn't it Annie's that changed, and they said that all their menus gluten-free or something, and their stock price like doubled in a matter of a year? Some country.
Actually, when Chipotle removed all GMOs from their food, they're starting to remove all of it. Their stock price went berserk. Yeah. Berserk. Yeah.
So people just want to be informed. You know, maybe Subway will adapt to gluten-free / non-GMO / none of this, whatever it's called. So we talked about Subway. We talked about the azodicarbonide. Did I say that right?
Almost.
What are some other things? I know Olestra is another big thing. It's found in potato chips in the U.S. And what else do mothers need to be concerned about?
I think, the main thing that mothers and people who are bringing up children, and when I bring up children one day, not anytime soon, Mom, if you're watching, please don't think anything is happening, but I think the most important thing is to try to feed your children as much unadulterated food as possible. And a really great way to do that is to make 60 to 80% of each meal that you have each day raw. So having a raw vegetable juice, having some raw big bowl of berries with your oatmeal in the morning, and some raw walnuts, some things that haven't been completely destroyed by processing. Because as soon as something ends up in a bag or a box, the nutritional quality starts to degrade. And if you're feeding children and you really want them to be nutritious, it's really important to feed them food that is as close to the earth as possible.
Cool. So all moms out there, listen to the Food Babe. All dads, listen to the Food Babe. Everybody. I mean, join the Food Babe Army, foodbabe.com/Subway, right?
Yep.
Sign the petition. It's over on the right-hand side of the screen. Food Babe will keep you updated on what's happening with Subway. I would expect to hear something probably within 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, I would say by tomorrow we'll definitely hear some. I mean, they've got to respond. I've never seen this this type of petition go like fire like this. So they're working on their response, and I hope they reach out to me. I think I want to make that clear is that I tried to reach out to them. I went through their customer service channels. I left voicemails. I've emailed them, and they haven't responded to any of my writings within the last year and a half, and especially to this so far, they have not responded. And if they don't respond favorably, they better believe that I'm going to make a little visit to their headquarters in Connecticut, and so to get ready for that.
Well, let me know and I'll join you. I'll fly over there.
I would love that. I would love that.
We'll get the Fit Life Army and the Food Babe Army, and we'll just bring a whole mass of people there.
That sounds amazing.
And are you going to be out at Expo West? I saw you at East.
I am. I'm going to be there in a couple weeks. It's just around the corner. I'm going to hang out.
We are. We definitely are. So I'm going to China, and I'm going to be there for 2 weeks, but when I get back, I'll see you at West.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
It was so good to have this on Google Hangout. This is like my first Hangout.
This really?
Wasn't it cool?
No, it was amazing. This is my first Hangout. So this is your first Hangout?
This is my first Hangout too. I know Fit Life does them for our group coaching program, but this is my first one of interacting with you on here, and it's been awesome. So make sure you give this a big thumbs up, you guys, if you're watching this, if it's a YouTube video. Follow the Food Babe over at Facebook as well. I shared your stuff earlier. It looks like it's doing really well, so I'm excited to see what Subway has to say and what lies ahead in your future as this revolution unfolds. It's exciting.
Yeah, no, thank you for being a part of it. Everyone, Drew, everyone at Fit Life TV, I really appreciate it. I hope you're safe in China and travel safely back to America because we need you here. And
hopefully they don't have any isodalgrabanide on me when I'm in Shanghai, because I'll literally get arrested. No, we'll be safe for sure, and we'll keep in touch with you as well.
Cool.
So, high five, hand hug.
High five.
All right, have a good rest of the night.
Bye, you too. See ya.
Foodbabe.com/Subway, you guys. Later.
Bye.